Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So we have a little bit of an article here. This is on cryptobasic.com, thecryptobasic.com. Make sure you go over there and give them some traffic, okay? And the article is titled SEC versus Ripple, why the SEC is bent on protecting its internal documents. Do I even have to read this article? Listen, I do believe that there is a lot of corruption in the SEC. Do I have to say that? Listen, anywhere there's a lot of money floating around, okay, there's a lot of lobbying going on, and people are changing opinions and changing the way that they wield authority because of that type of money. And there's big money. Listen, the money that you see is only the money that they want you to see. There's a lot of money in a lot of industries, by the way. I want to say that, okay? And I know there's a lot of money in a lot of industries that floats under the radar, and some people would phrase it under the table. There has to be a reason why the SEC approaches things a particular way, understanding that there are scam coins out there. Why aren't they going after these scam coins? People are losing their money all over the place. Why aren't they going after these rug pulls? Guaranteed victories, but they don't want to do work. So there's laziness there also, but then there's also corruption, because they understand that people that are above board, let's say like Ripple is above board. They're having meetings, every month? They're having briefings, weekly with SEC, keeping them up to date. They did what they were supposed to do. But see, some entities see that as weakness. They take you can't say kindness. It's not kindness, right? Because you're a business entity. You want to make sure you don't have trouble. But they take that type of obedience, the type of acquiescence as weakness. They see you and they see a mark, right? So they know you're going to pay up. So if they come in and they say, hey, we want this money for whatever reason, they can just throw something erroneous on you. And they say, we want this money to make it go away. What do you call that, by the way? There's a name for that. But see, when the government does it, it's different. Well, that's what the SEC has been doing. Regulation, this is what they've been calling it. Regulation by enforcement is what they've been calling it. Oh, is that so? So a company could be above board and doing everything and be transparent. But you come in and you say, hey, we have a problem with something. We don't really have to give you clarity on what that problem is, because it was never a problem before. But don't worry about that. Pay us this money now. If you don't pay us this money now, we're going to shut you down. What do you call that? Don't get me, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the same thing that certain, I can't say it any other way, that the mafia used to do? Pay us this money, we're going to protect you. Pay us this money. Right? And then the mafia got in trouble for that. Isn't that the way that it happened? The mafia got shut down. But when the government does it, well, it's okay. Anyway, there might be a reason. I'm saying there might be a lot of reasons why they don't want you to see those internal documents, right? Because it could lead to a lot of trouble for them, I would think. Look, if you didn't have anything to hide, doesn't the government say that a lot? If you don't have anything to hide, why can't we see it? Government entities love to say things like that. But let's continue on to the article here, okay? So it says in this section titled SEC's Abnormal Behavior in Protecting Its Internal Documents. Even the writer the writer probably doesn't even hold XRP, doesn't have anything to do with Ripple. Even the writer, in observance of what's going on with the case, understands that the behavior that we're witnessing is highly abnormal. I'll tell you another thing that indicates that their behavior is abnormal, and that even other government entities are against the SEC. I said this last year, didn't I? They are against the SEC. They don't like how they're doing it, and they understand something's very wrong there. That's why they're trying to put together, or they floated the idea, I believe it was Congress, floated the idea of coming up with another digital body to govern and come up with the proper regulations, a digital governing association or board or whatever they're going to title it as, but a digital governing body just for crypto that is well educated on crypto and able to make policies that work with the new crypto environment, since there has never been anything that has that they've dealt with that is like cryptocurrency. Never. Okay. all the capabilities that crypto, this is a new world, all the capabilities that crypto has. The bank coins have XRP, Algorand, HBAR, Jello. No one's ever dealt with anything like this. And so they floated the idea of having something, a new governing body, because obviously the SEC is not capable of doing such a thing. So, and we're going to see a little bit more of that. And I have a couple of other articles that I think that are in relation to the bank coins. We'll go over in a moment. Okay, but let's continue on here. It says, for the majority of the lawsuit, the SEC has worked relentlessly to protect several of its internal documents from being used as a basis of influence of the judge's decision. Like, you can't. That tells you they're going to lose. If they show the documents, they're going to lose. That's the only reason they will hold that back. They've been losing this case thus far. Things don't look good for them. And that tells me they also have something to hide. The judge, it's a judge. Do you understand how intelligent these judges are? They're highly intelligent. They're extremely analytical. All right. So when a judge sees something, they immediately suss it out. They push away all of the unnecessary, and they get right to the crux of what they need. They find things very fast, and then they're able to make decisions. That's why the SEC keeps pushing things back, because they don't want that. That decision will come so fast, like that, with certain information that could be gained. So it's not. so it's because I believe they understand that based upon the analytical ability of the judge that they've been dealing with, and the judge has been highly favorable towards Ripple and have a neutral understanding. That's very difficult to acquire. Also, a judge with a neutral standing. A lot of times judges stand on this side or that side of a particular matter. But here, the judge actually being quite fair. So they know it will tip the scales. Let's continue on here. It says, however, the Securities and Exchange Commission has filed different motions to protect these relevant documents from being used, with the agency reiterating that they are protected by the deliberative privilege process, DPP. The SEC argues that the documents represent individual opinions. I hate when they do this. That's another very corrupt thing that they do. You remember the other guy, what was it, Hinman? When he said certain things about Ethereum or XRP or whatever it was, and then they later, which he was speaking, in my opinion, he was speaking as a representative of the SEC. But later on, they play that linguistic game where they can go back later and say, it was just my opinion. So when do we know? So I guess now they're going to have to declare. Have they been doing that? I don't know. I don't watch the actual videos. Have they been coming out and declaring, yes, now I'm speaking for the SEC? If they're not, then how are we ever going to know, unless somebody requires that of them, how are we ever going to know what's their opinion and what's not their opinion? They cannot be allowed to do things like that. That is one of their manipulative little tactics that they use. No, it was just my opinion. Okay, so how do we know when you're representing the SEC? Because when you're going anywhere and making a speech, they're having you there as a representative of the SEC, not as you. We don't care what you say. You're nobody. In my humble, that's how I take it. I'm in the business. I'm a businessman. I'm here about money. I'm here about policy, regulation. I'm not here to hear your opinion. And neither are the holders of XRP out there. So when you're speaking to the crypto sphere or the banking industry, we're not here to hear your opinion. We're here to hear what you're going to bring to us from the SEC, because that's relevant to us. This is why so many big institutions have a problem with the SEC right now. They have a problem with it. Look at Elon Musk. Look how many great things that individual is doing. And Elon Musk, and I'll say this, I've watched many interviews that Elon Musk has held, and he's highly intelligent. I like listening to him. I don't like listening to a lot of people unless they have a very high intelligence level and there's something I can gain from them. But I say that to bring it around full circle. Even he has a problem with the SEC and the way they have been authoritarian, the way that they have been pulling down industries, shaking down industries. That's what it seems like. I like to say a little word, extortion. Regulation by enforcement, extortion, sounds like it's the same thing when it comes to what they're doing. But the SEC, when it comes to the government, it's okay. But let's continue on here, okay? The SEC argues that the documents represent individuals' opinions and thus cannot be used as public guidance. Last week, the SEC also took advantage of the January 2022 DPP ruling, requesting that it need to redact documents. You see this? Something's wrong. They already had that particular judgment. Why do you need to now that you have that particular judgment, why do you need to now redact documents? So now permanently, no one will ever know what was said. What was so damaging in there? Something is damaging. That's exactly what you're telling me. I don't care what you say. Intelligent people know, who have a high IQ know that means that something damaging is in there. If it was just opinion and that was the judgment that was issued, right? You're using that. If that is the case and it's just opinion, then why do you need to redact certain things? Something's wrong. And the judge knows it. Listen, we're going to win this case and XRP's price is going to explode. Sniff it with me, that money. Sniff it one more time. One time. Have some fun. Sniff that. Sniff that money. That price is going to explode. Interbank payments. The value of real estate moving across the blockchain. That's just small, but that's small potatoes. When it comes to XRP, those interbank payments, replacing SWIFT, acting as a bridge currency for central banks, becoming what is the new SDR. Pretty much the new SDR. Did you do that research yet? You look up the World Economic Forum, SDRs, and what the purpose of SDRs was and is, and they wanted it to be. And XRP is pretty much a SDR on steroids with liquidity. That price is going to raise it to. Harder, I think now that, look, there's been a lot more research coming out, a lot more data, a lot more PDFs, a lot more talk about liquidity. Have you paid attention to the banks talking about liquidity? They did a lot of information dumps and they're all talking about liquidity. Two things they've been concentrating on a lot lately, and I know you've seen it, DeFi and liquidity. They're going to need it. XRP is being pushed everywhere and can be the biggest liquidity pool in the world has ever seen. That means that price goes up exponentially. Ripple needs to make a profit. They're going to make a profit from XRP. They're a for-profit company. That's a beautiful thing. That means that price is going to explode. Some of you are not ready. You're not ready. You don't believe, but that's okay. I don't care if you buy or sell any of the bank coins. It means nothing to me. I like that. I don't know why I said it like that. I felt the energy going and I just went there. It means nothing to me. I like that. I like to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to start covering more bank coins that I feel like it allows me to have fun. It keeps me motivated to actually make the videos. And you need that motivation. Trust me, you get burned out doing this stuff sometimes. If it gets boring, that is. XRP is exciting. Algorand is exciting. HBAR is exciting. So I like to cover them. Let's continue on here. You guys distracting me. Let's continue on. We got to be professional. You're distracting me. Let's go. The SEC's quest to protect some of its internal documents. Okay, wait. Let's go back to the redacting. That's where we left off. Last week, the SEC also took advantage of a January 2022 DPP ruling requesting that it need to redact, that means black out those words, redact documents from meetings between the agency and other third parties. A request that Ripple is yet to respond to. The SEC's quest to protect some of its internal documents like Hinman and Estabrook has raised suspicions in the cryptocurrency community, with many people believing that the move is beyond the reasons the agencies gave. What did I just say a few moments ago? I told you, the judge knows this. The judge knows something is up. Come on, judge. Continue to be with us. You see something's wrong here. How can you claim to protect the investors when you have single-handedly damaged? You damaged a lot of things. Let's go over a few of them. You single-handedly, as the SEC, damaged investors like no one has ever damaged before, because there would have already been a few parabolic runs for XRP. Mark my words. Because here's the thing. There are other entities around the world ready to start using XRP, but they don't have that regulatory clarity, and they have deep ties in the United States. So they don't want problems with the United States. Do you see how the United States wields their financial system as a weapon? Wields their US dollar as a weapon? US dollar has power around the world. But XRP So a lot of entities that want to use XRP, they understand that a lot of the power of XRP, when that first liquidity pops off, a lot of that is coming from companies that are using their US dollars to pull into XRP to create this giant liquidity pool, hence the liquidity hub, right? They don't want problems in the United States. And now it has become this environment where if anybody has a problem outside of the United States, they're from another country, or there's another country, another government, such like that, or a bank or something like that, the United States can just issue the word and they'll shut you down. So they don't want those problems. SEC single-handedly has acted as a barrier to the explosion in price that holders of XRP would have stand to gain from long ago. And that wouldn't even be the generational wealth parabolic run. That's not that. I'm not talking about that. That's yet to come. There's still time for that because they have to set up infrastructures. There are different things that have to go on. 4 years, 5 years. We're hearing a lot of different numbers, but all of it indicates that it's going to take a long time for these bank coins to really pop off. And let's see to see what they're really made of and to see where the prices are really going to go, right? There's no guarantees here. Although XRP, in my opinion, is a safe hold. Algorand is a safe hold. They make no mistake about what their intentions are, and they're hungry. They want their protocol to be front and center. They want their native token to do well, and they're working hard around the clock. Those two companies, and Hedera also, those are safe holds, okay? But there's no guarantees in anything. So let's just read just a little bit more, and then after that, you guys can head over to thecryptobasic.com. They have great articles over there. This is on their front page. You can't miss it. And give this a read. There's a lot more here, okay? So it says, attorney Jeremy Hogan, a partner at the Hogan & Hogan law firm, stated in a video, firm stated in a recent video. Oh, they miswrote that. I thought I misspoke. I misread. No. In a recent video stated that the SEC's behavior toward protecting these internal documents is abnormal. It is. There's something wrong. We need this case to end. XRP's price will explode. And do you know what's going to happen also? That's another thing. XRP's price explodes. XLM's price is going to explode. People need to start. And there's no telling when this happens, but when that happens, there's going to be an immediate parabolic run. People need to start trying to gather together rational prices that they might want to take profit at. And I definitely would say take profit on some particular things. That's what I would do. XRP? No, not XRP. All right, no. I expect a few parabolic runs. That price is going to explode when it comes to XRP. I'm not selling my XRP. That's not going to happen. But other bank coins, yeah, I would lock in some profits with them because they can experience droughts. There's a certain security that comes with that patent on-demand liquidity, and the fact that they have so many banks already interested in it and sort of setting up infrastructure to use it when they're ready to flip that switch. So many big financial institutions, there's a security with XRP, okay? Other bank coins, not so much. So I would definitely have a rational price where maybe I want to lock in some profits. If I'm not selling everything, chop a little bit off the top, whatever, you want to be safe with your money. I'm not a maximalist on anything at all. I'm here to make money. That's why the catchphrase the outro is, let's get to the money. So let's get to that money wherever it is. So we're here to make money. We're not here to lose money. So let's make sure we're protecting our money. All right. So I don't want to read too much more. This is actually a very, very good article. So make sure you guys head over to I don't know how you guys say it where you're from. Thecryptobasic.com. Give this a read. Okay, let's slide over here for a moment. This is on a website titled cryptobriefing.com. They have an article here. Make sure you head over there, give them some traffic, show them some love. Cryptobriefing.com. There's an article here and it's titled, Members of Congress Introduce E-Cash Bill. I didn't read through this yet. Most of the articles we're going through on the spot. Let's just take a look at this. But it says e-cash would be issued by the Treasury and fundamentally different from a CBDC. Is that so? This is like what a lot of the states want to do, right? With Algorand, by the way. Algorand's deep in Miami. You see they have, what do they have? Like a Miami coin or something like that they're trying to build. Algorand is doing things like that. We'll see what happens with some of the other bank coins that the states may use to issue their state-based tokens, the city-based tokens and stuff. Everybody seems to have a token or a coin now. But fundamentally different from a CBDC. Let's read a little bit into this and find out what the heck are they talking about. It says, congressional representatives have introduced a bill that call upon the Treasury to prepare a digital dollar e-cash. E-cash is meant to preserve privacy and operate without needing access to the internet. So, okay. Okay, we're going to read a little bit further, but you do know that the Bank of International Settlements wants CBDCs to do that very same thing. And you do also know that XRP, which can stand to act as the bridge currency for a lot of central bank digital currencies, national digital currencies, will provide their liquidity. You do know that Ripple, who is the biggest pusher of XRP, Ripple has already designed the means to utilize XRP offline. They're already developing that technology or have developed the technology to utilize XRP offline with QR codes. So what you're saying is that can't be what separates it from a CBDC. There's no possible way. I mean, let's read a little bit further before I just draw a conclusion. The bill is co-sponsored by Democrats though the legislation appears to address certain concerns. Wait, all right, we're not going to get into all that. They're talking about some political stuff. I'm here to make money. I don't care about that little stuff here. We're big money over here. Not worried about that. Let's continue on here. E-cash directive. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives are calling upon the Treasury to release a digital dollar rather than the nation's central bank. That is interesting, by the way. That's interesting. The e-cash act introduced by Representative Lynch is co-sponsored by blah, 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 redacted. Not here to give them shine. E-cash is meant to emulate physical dollars, which can be operated without the internet, and which theoretically preserves privacy. So it's pretty much a stable coin. It's pretty much USDC. But let's go on. Unlike many central bank digital currency proposals. Okay, so unlike many proposals, but there's specific proposals that have central bank digital currencies being digital cash. They can be used offline. The identity aspect, the personal identity, like your name, address, is separated from it. It can be used offline. Did I say that already? Probably did. Like they're made to be digital cash. I don't understand that. The Treasury would coordinate with the necessary government agencies on the digital dollar, such as the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve wants a CBDC, and the Federal Reserve also says it's not going to take any type of action unless somebody hands them an infrastructure. But this is what they said. This is why they outsource the researching of central bank digital currencies to MIT. MIT has close ties with Algorand, and a few other bank coins, but also the Bank of International Settlements also said that the Federal Reserve wants to be handed infrastructure. And we all know, traditionally speaking, the United States is handed technology. They're not the developers of that particular technology. They're not at the forefront of innovation. That's just not what they do. But let's continue on here. I mean, who's going to put this together? Like, this coordination would be conducted via the Digital Dollar Council, which the Treasury Secretary would head. Okay, so I guess we have to stay up to date on this and look out for some transcripts of meetings. Transcripts are very good, just like PDFs. Look out for PDFs and such. I guess this is something we're going to have to keep an eye out for. The bill's passage would also create an electronic currency innovation program as part of the Treasury. This is a power move. This is a power move. I see what's going on here. They want that power. This would take a lot of power away from the Fed, in my opinion. If you're looking at this, right, the Fed was cooking up their central bank digital currency, and then what happened? Congress or somebody in the U.S. government said, no, we don't want you to do that. So now they have this offering coming out. Do you see how that works? There's a lot of power to grab out there. It's not just about money. Money is just a symbol of the power. I told you before, there's a power struggle that is brewing. It didn't explode just yet, but it's brewing. This is why, another reason why the bank coins are, I believe, in my humble opinion, there's no guarantees. I don't care if you buy or sell, don't follow me. It's my humble opinion. Another reason why the bank coins are going to explode, because now with something like this, listen, Central banks don't want to give up that power to the Treasury of the United States. They don't want to give up that kind of power. They want their digital cash to be used. Anyway, let's continue on here. A monetary privacy board would also be instituted by the act. This would be an independent group tasked with ensuring the government's due diligence with respect to the privacy preservation and civil liberties protection. Are you serious right now? Like, I think I trust the central banks more than you. Like, I really do. The Treasury? What? All right, let's continue on. Finally, the bill would establish an account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, okay, to fund the eCash program. Okay, so you're working you want to work in conjunction with the Federal Reserve. So you're not just asking for their guidance or asking for their infrastructure, but you actually want to congeal with them. All right, so then why not just let them do that? I don't understand why this is coming about. Or why not just wait on the Federal Reserve to work on that central bank digital currency? And it calls upon the Fed's Board of Governors to manage the liquidity. Okay, I see where you're going. There you go. There you go. It calls upon the Fed's Board of Governors to manage the liquidity. Now I see. Okay. Of the overall monetary system. So the banks and other existing financial institutions face minimal disruption. So what we're talking about, like what they just said is, they need the Fed's help to avoid a liquidity crisis. Not understanding that the Fed itself, they need that liquidity. Trust me on this. They need liquidity. And all of the different banks, as the Bank of International Settlements, I believe it's either them or the IMF considers the Fed to be sort of a central bank. As they have said. There is a liquidity issue at hand, okay? And this is something that they want to resolve. Who solves that better than XRP? Who solves that better than Ripple, the XRPL, liquidity hub? When they say that, let's read that one more time. Sorry about that. I had to read that little paragraph just to get all my thoughts together because we're about to draw this to a conclusion. It says, and it calls upon the Fed's Board of Governors to manage the liquidity of the overall monetary system so that banks and other existing financial institutions face minimal disruption. Yeah. So they don't face a liquidity crisis. But there's one coming anyway because you've been printing your dollar into oblivion. So then what you're going to have is there's two problems that are going to come. Number one, people are going to be hoarding cash a lot more. They have been because of all of the chaos in the world. So then there's less cash flowing around. Okay, so then on top of that, a lot of people they don't trust the banks. The banks have been getting hacked. Listen, the banks, I showed you the documents, didn't I? I showed you the websites. I showed you the screenshots. The banks have been getting hacked, so the people don't trust them. There's so many people getting their identity stolen from the banks having these holes in their system, and the banks have not acted to close that up. So people are pulling their money out of banks more and more, closing accounts. They're using other means to have savings, okay? They don't trust the banks. So then there's that issue. So then that lends to a liquidity crisis. Not to mention how the banks are mismanaging money everywhere, hence why they had to be bailed out. That lends to a liquidity crisis, okay? Also, around the world, people dumping dollars because now countries may be coming up with, what do you call it? Like their own digital system, their own SWIFT system, their own banking system, like not banking systems, how do you call it? Like they're tired of dollar dominance is what I'm saying, right? So they want to come out with their own universal digital currency or universal currency that could be dominant and rival the dollar. That takes power away from the dollar. That devalues the dollar. So they have all of these problems. This is why XRP's price will explode. They need that liquidity. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. XRP can, and for all intents and purposes, will create the biggest liquidity pool on earth. And that price will explode because of it. So I think I kept you long enough. I didn't even get to this last article here, but I'll just mention it. It says it's on u.today. Make sure you guys head over there. They got some good articles over there. It says 12 million XRP goes to anonymous address as XRP remains attractive for investors. I don't need to go into it. You can go over there and give that article a read. Of course, people see what's happening. There could be rapid developments coming up soon with XRP this year. I'm talking about like this year. We don't, and listen, if things go favorably with this case, if anyone decides to flip the switch, because the rest of the world doesn't have to wait. I understand it's going to take time to set up infrastructure, but they don't have to wait. If they decide to flip the switch somewhere else and utilize the liquidity of XRP and as a bridge currency and get that, and XRP actually can be the new SDR, a one world currency, a one world agnostic currency. No one wants to be left out. This makes me actually hungry to get some more XRP. Like right now, I'm over preparing. I got a healthy serving. I'm over preparing on all of the bank coins, but I'm not married to any of them. Okay? Here to make money. I'm going to over prepare. This makes me want to get a little bit more XRP. 12 million XRP. Good job. Good job. Wise move, in my humble opinion. Wise move. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.